This video is brought to you by Bookmark.com. Bookmark's a free website builder where you can create a professional-looking website with hosting in just a couple minutes by answering 7 simple questions. Bookmark's AI engine, Ada, literally builds your website right in front of your face in less than 2 minutes, and you can edit virtually every aspect of the page once it's complete. You can also upgrade to connect your existing domain and create an online store with e-commerce integration. It's awesome. Click the link in the description below or check them out at Bookmark.com. Yo, I'm Brian P. You're watching Bad Seed Tech, and today we're taking a look at the Vortex Poker 3 RGB 60% mechanical keyboard. Whew. Okay, I have to try to keep this review in perspective because the Poker 3 makes a hell of a first impression. Floating switches, minimal design, full aluminum case, and the weight. It's like 770 grams on my scale. Listed officially as like 2 pounds. It feels like it could stop a bullet. It makes the 1-2 Mini and the Amp Pro 2 both feel like toys by comparison. It's intoxicating. But then reality starts to set in. For starters, it's $140. That's $40 more than the Ducky One 2 Mini and $60 more than the Amp Pro 2. The other thing you notice right away is this is no frills. There are no accessories inside this box. You get a rubberized cable. That's it. There's no cool extra keycaps. There's no keycap puller. There's not a manual, and the cable you do get is mini USB, not USB-C. So evidently minimal is the name of the game here, with a big focus on quality. So let's see how it stacks up against some of the competition. For starters, the keycaps they use here are double shot shine through ABS, not PBT. I think we've all come to agree that PBT is the superior keycap in terms of quality, so it's really curious to me that this premium priced offering doesn't include PBT caps. As far as initial reaction, I really like them. Honestly, if you told me these were PBT, I'd probably believe you. It's tough to say how long these will go before they start to get that dreaded ABS shine, but this board's been out in the wild for like 2 years. I scoured the internet and I could only find one report of a guy on Massdrop that said his keys started to shine like crazy. The font here is similar to what I saw on the Amp Pro 2, but there's none of the inconsistencies that I saw on the Amp Pro 2. In terms of font style, I like the Ducky, the Poker, and then the Amp Pro 2. In that order. As I said, this is a floating switch design, so there is no case bezel around the keycaps themselves. What you get here is a gloss white painted steel base plate on top of a giant hunk of aluminum that makes up the base. Underneath, there's just 4 small rubber feet. There is no adjustment on the height here, so you just get what you get. Overall height of the key bed itself is very similar to the Amp Pro 2, but the bottom row sits a little higher, so the incline isn't quite as pronounced front to back. I got this board outfitted with Cherry MX Browns. Again, in gaming here, this board felt no different to me than the other 2 boards. The typing experience here is very solid as well, as you'd expect, but the stabilizers leave a lot to be desired, falling short of both the Amp Pro 2 and the Ducky One 2 Mini. The RGB lighting on offer here is very solid, pretty much on par with what you see with the Ducky One 2 Mini. Very bright, very saturated, smokes the Amp Pro 2. The only area where it falls a little short of more modern RGB keyboards is in the number of pre-canned lighting animations. You basically just get a handful of single key animations and then a handful of full board animations. Oddly absent here is any kind of rainbow wave that you see on pretty much any RGB keyboard that's out there. You do get what they call Vortex mode, which is basically rainbow mode spinning like in a clockwise vortex. The speed adjustment here is a little odd. It starts at like pretty fast and goes up to like seizure inducing. And the brightness controls are interesting in that you can make the brightness go all the way up until the RGB is basically almost white. It like completely washes out the colors. The best saturation here occurs at the middle 2 levels of adjustment. And there is no additional software here, which I honestly prefer. It means you'll need to dig the manual out to get cracking if you want to work on stuff like zone and per key lighting. The other thing that's kind of become an issue with the 60% boards is arrow key placement, because people are not used to not having arrow keys on their board. Luckily, the Poker 3 offers plenty of options for arrow keys, almost as nice as the Amp Pro 2. You can use the default function plus IJKL like you would on the Ducky. You can use a dip switch to make the caps lock act like a function key. You can use a different layer and rebind function and WASD keys to turn into your arrow keys. Or you can hold down the left Windows key, the right Alt, and the space bar at the same time, and that'll set up your right shift cluster as your arrow keys. The only catch here is that you don't retain the original use of those keys without toggling back out of that mode, so you will sacrifice your right shift key to do this. Now, if you own a Ducky One 2 Mini and you're a little jealous of this arrow key functionality, but you actually want to keep your right shift as well, check out the card here up in the corner. I made a little video about how to do that. Now, in terms of rebinding, this is actually a pretty powerful board. You get 3 different layers that sit on top of your default layers. So 3 total layers you can customize. You cannot rebind anything on the default layer. There are a handful of keys that are fixed and cannot be rebinded at all, regardless of layer. I'll leave a link to the manual doc in the description because it's a lot to cover here. So the Poker 3 leads the league in terms of build quality. It feels feels like it would last you a lifetime. I don't see any issues with inconsistencies or any kind of quality control concerns here at all. The issue here is that this board feels, and actually is, dated. The Poker 3 originally came out in like August of 2015. I don't know when the RGB variant released, but the point here is this thing is not exactly cutting edge. It seems like it would be a great starting point for a custom project, but honestly, I'm having a hard time finding anything here that warrants this really high price tag. Aside from the case, really, I can't think of any reason to pay a $40 premium over what you'd find in the Ducky One 2 Mini. And for a $20 premium, I'd personally take the Ducky One 2 Mini over the And Pro 2, and I'd advise you to do the same unless you just really need wireless or you don't have the patience to wait for the One 2 Mini. It's not that this is a bad board. It's definitely not. It's definitely a quality board. It's just outdated, outgunned, and outpriced by the current 60% offerings. In my opinion, it's high time that Vortex came out with a more modern, more competitive refresh of this board. These stabilizers, these ABS keycaps, a mini USB, that's all pretty suspect for me at 140 bucks. And again, I can see it being a solid starting point for a custom project, but if anything, it just makes me more anxious to try the Mass Drop Alt. The Alt has hot swappable switches, which means you can change switches whenever you want to without having to solder. And that sounds like a blast to me, but that board comes at a serious price premium. Equipped with Cherry MX Browns, that's coming in at $200. Twice the price of the Ducky. So there it is. Out of the 3 boards we've looked at so far, the Ducky One 2 Mini is still leading the league for me personally. And I'm still learning every day, so if I'm missing the point of this $140 aluminum monster, please let me know in the comments. Today's setup flex goes out to a dude named JAYPHER. JAYPHER is an absolute beast of a dual PC setup and some of the best peripherals out right now. And I happen to know that he buys and reviews practically everything that comes out. His gaming PC is an AMD 2700X with an EVGA 2080 Ti. He plays on a Ducky One 2 Mini and the Logitech G Pro wireless. You can catch him on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time and Saturday and Sunday at 4 p.m. Also, check out his gaming peripheral reviews on YouTube. If you'd like to be featured on Setup Flex, check the card in the corner for details. And that's it for this time. I'm Brian P. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, stay up.